Let's get back to our conversation with Sylvia Morrison. As we heard on Monday, she can do a huge list of impersonations, including Diane Ross, Michelle Obama, and she said she could even do one of me, which quite frankly is horrifying. But she was so good at them, she eventually got to perform in front of the stars she was replicating. Take a look. What is it like to meet the celebrities that you impersonate, and who was the first?
You know what? I think the first big name person who actually saw me doing her was I was on tour with Whitney Houston. I did 23 cities with Whitney Houston, and her entire family came out to our show in Los Angeles, and I do Dionne Warwick. And I started my Dionne Warwick song, and they ran to the back and said, "Auntie Dionne, this girl's out here doing an impression of you. You got to come in here." And so she lifts herself up with her elegant and classy self, and she walks out, and they tell me she watched me for the longest time. And at the end of the Dionne Warwick impression, the audience was on their feet. And she went back to the dressing room, and she looked, and she said, this is what they told me. She said, "She sounds nothing like me." And it was so funny because they were like, "Auntie Dionne, she got a standing ovation, okay?"
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. That is funny.
Yeah.
That sounds like we could just take a detour into that tour by itself, being out there with Whitney Houston and all the Houstons and Dionne Warwick. Your most cherished memory from that experience?
We were in Canada, and we did 3 cities in Canada. And this one particular night, it was amazing, Reese. It was amazing. When I tell you, the audience, it was about, I guess, thousands, maybe 13,000 people. And when I got off the stage, we used to always run around front to watch Whitney. And this particular night, she reached out in the audience and she did like this to me, for me to come on stage with her. And I'm like, what did I do? I don't want to go on stage. So I get on stage with her. She actually sent security out to get me. They bring me up. And I'll never forget it as long as I live. She grabbed my hand and she held it in the air, Reese, all the way up. And she looked at the audience and she said, "Wasn't Sylvia wonderful? Wasn't she wonderful?" And you could hear the roar of the audience. And I left the stage and went back to my dressing room. I could cry about it now because it was such a moment, because Whitney Houston stamped me that day. She stamped me. And nobody else was on the show. I opened, she closed. She said she didn't need anybody else. I was enough for her. I set her audience up exactly the way she wanted them. And so she said that night, and I live with that every day. And I'm thankful for that. I am so thankful for Whitney Houston. I am.
That is a really incredible, powerful story. I can feel the emotion coming from you. And like most great stories, it started with "We were in Canada." I think 60% of my good stories start with we were in Canada. Oh man, if she does Whitney, I do Bobby. We could go out on tour together, I'm just saying. Coming up on Friday, hear about how she actually got to be part of Saturday Night Live history and her time with a legendary Hollywood producer. And she's joined an amazing group of impersonators here in the area called the Constituents, who you've probably seen on our show before. They have a show coming up at the DC Improv on March 13th. Make sure you check them out. I'll be there.